Hi there, it's Ann Taylor Pittman with Cooking Light. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I have a really fun weeknight recipe to share with you. It is a twist on the usual chicken noodle soup, and it's inspired by a traditional Greek recipe, which I'll get to in just a second. But let me go ahead and tell you what I have going on in the pot. I went ahead and got a little bit of a head start. I have a tablespoon of olive oil, and to that I've added 3/4 cup of cubed carrot and a 1/2 cup of chopped onion. So the carrot is just kind of cubed, irregular shapes, but big enough to kind of have some presence in the soup. So this is a Greek lemony chicken soup, and it is inspired by a traditional Greek recipe or traditional Greek dish called avgolemono, which is made with lemons. That's the lemono part of the word, and eggs. So this is a soup that gets creamy and thick with the use of eggs, which is a really cool technique that I'll show you in just a minute. So my aromatics are sauteing here. They've been going for about 3 or 4 minutes, and now I'm going to add some garlic, 2 teaspoons of garlic, which is about 2 cloves, and then 3/4 of a teaspoon of crushed red pepper or red pepper flakes. So that's going to give this soup some nice kick. So like I said, this is a twist, if you will, on chicken noodle soup. There is pasta involved, which I'll show you in just a minute. Let me just get these guys going. Garlic smells amazing. Pepper, if you get over and take a big whiff, it'll make you sneeze, so just be warned. I don't know if you guys have ever done that when you're sauteing some hot chilies or hot peppers and you take a big breath in, it makes you either cough or sneeze. Now, I have 6 cups of unsalted chicken stock. So we're starting with unsalted, so that way we can control the salt that goes into the soup. We can control the sodium better than starting with a pre-salted product. If you're using homemade chicken stock, it's probably unsalted. Most people's, or traditionally, you make a chicken stock without any salt added. So 6 cups of that. That goes in. Let me turn my heat up. Now, if you're in a super, super big hurry, like sometimes, you know, you just are, it's a busy night, this recipe takes just 20 minutes, but if you're in a bigger hurry, when you can speed things up a little bit by microwaving the chicken stock while the aromatics are sauteing. So you can just put the 6 cups of chicken stock in the microwave for like 5 minutes while the onions and the carrots and the garlic and all that's cooking, and that gives you a head start. So you're adding hot stock to the pot. It will come up to a boil much more quickly when you do that. Again, this recipe takes just 20 minutes, but sometimes you don't even have 20 minutes. I know, I feel the pain. I'm with you. Okay, so I mentioned that there is pasta in this soup, and it is orzo pasta. So orzo is a rice-shaped pasta. This is what it looks like uncooked. You should bring this stock up to a boil and then add your uncooked orzo and let it cook for 6 minutes before proceeding with the next step. Now, I took the liberty of par cooking some orzo here so that you wouldn't have to wait the 6 minutes for, it's like watching paint dry, right? Waiting 6 minutes to watch some pasta cook. Now, we love to use whole wheat orzo whenever we can, but sometimes orzo is a little hard to find. So use whatever you can find. If you can find whole wheat, that'd be great. If not, no big deal.
And we have a quick question. Sorry about that. Rebecca wants to know, can you make the soup without pasta?
Yes, you can definitely make the soup without pasta. Leave the pasta out, and it will be just a nice, hearty chicken soup. I might add more vegetables if I were not going to use the pasta, just so there's more sort of chunkiness and more in every bite. You could also use rice. If you have some cooked rice on hand, leftover rice, you could use rice in place of the orzo. That would be delicious. That was a great question. Okay, we're almost up to a boil, almost ready here. Let me get some of the other ingredients that are going to go in. So I mentioned that this lemony Greek chicken soup is thickened with eggs. So I have 3 eggs here. It's called lemony, so I have some lemon juice. I have a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice. So let me get this guy going. It's almost to a boil. I'm a little bit impatient, so I'm going to go ahead and add this orzo. Again, you would be adding, in the recipe, you would be adding uncooked orzo to the boiling stock mixture I've taken the liberty of par cooking this, giving it a little bit of a head start off camera.
And Cheryl wants to know, can she use turkey stock for this recipe?
Oh yes, turkey stock would be delicious. Turkey stock and turkey, if you have that on hand. So this could be a really nice Thanksgiving leftover recipe, where a different type of turkey noodle soup. Maybe keep that in mind in the next month. But yes, absolutely, turkey stock would be delicious. Okay, so while that's coming up to a boil, I'm going to whisk the eggs. Again, 3 eggs. I'm in a bowl that's big enough to give me room to kind of work with. I'm going to whisk these guys with the lemon juice, just to get everything incorporated. I want to whisk really well so the eggs are broken down. I don't have any of those streaky bits in there. And then we're going to very, very carefully bring these up to temperature in a process called tempering.
And in the meantime, we've got a couple of comments. A couple of our viewers have made this recipe and love it.
Oh, great.
Stephanie said she actually made it last night.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad you made it and liked it. Thanks for letting us know. I love, any sort of, any form of chicken noodle soup I love. This one is just so refreshing with that lemon. It's finished with dill, and so the flavors are just so bright and perky, if you will. It's such a delicious recipe, and the way that it gets thickened here with the eggs is really great too. This is almost to a boil. I need it at a boil, so just bear with me. Go ahead and pull up some of the other ingredients we're going to add. We're going to add some spinach in a few minutes. We're going to add some chicken. This is rotisserie chicken. You can use some leftover roast chicken, or as I mentioned earlier, based on the comment or question, you could use turkey. So this would be a nice thing to keep in your back pocket for the day after Thanksgiving or a couple of days after Thanksgiving. I have some salt and pepper, and as I mentioned, there's some dill. Okay, come on. We're almost to a boil. Like I said, I need this guy piping hot. I'm going to use a ladle to scoop out some of the hot broth. A standard ladle holds about a half cup of liquid. We need to add 1 cup of liquid to the eggs, 1 cup of the hot stock, so that will be 2 ladlefuls. You don't have to be super, super exact. The main thing is to gradually add the hot liquid to the eggs so that the eggs don't curdle. So that they don't cook too quickly. If you've ever made pudding or a custard pie, you've probably used this process. We're just gradually warming up the eggs. If you were to add the eggs directly into the boiling stock, do you know what you would get? You would get pretty much egg drop soup, which is lovely. You get those nice little thin ribbons of cooked egg throughout the broth, but that's not the effect we're going for here, which is why we're going to temper. Okay. So we're almost to a boil. I'm just going to stir this guy a little bit more. We're so close. We're so close. Just hang in there.
And we have some highs from all over the world for you.
Oh, nice.
We're saying hi from Tel Aviv, Prague, and Borneo so far.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you get some great ideas for fun dinner. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. We're pretty much there. I just want it to be boiling. Again, just bear with me. I'm on rapid boil, so it should be any second now. I guess I can go ahead. While that's going, I'll get my dill ready to sprinkle in. So I need 3 tablespoons of dill to finish the soup. I just pulled some sprigs here and just will give them a nice chop. Since dill stems are so flexible and soft, I don't worry about pulling these fronds off from the bigger stems. I just kind of go ahead and chop it all up, because if you get a little stem in there, it's fine. It's really tender. You don't have to worry about pulling all the stems out. So when I'm in a really big hurry, which again, sometimes I don't even have 20 minutes to pull dinner together, I might take this bunch of dill and double it back over itself so that I'm chopping even less than if I were just to keep everything out at its full length, if that makes sense. So I'll take this, fold it under, and that way I just need to chop a little bit, and there I'm done. So that might be a little bit more than 3 tablespoons. It's probably about a 1/4 cup, but I like dill so much, I might just go with it. Give it another chop the other direction. That's gonna be our finishing touch. Salt and pepper goes in just a minute. Oh my goodness, I need this to come to a boil. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for waiting. We've got our egg and lemon, or lemon. We're trying every week now, I think, to find one word that we want to pronounce in an interesting way. So this week it's lemon. Okay, we're pretty much there. Oh my goodness, come on broth. See, if I'd used the microwave trick, gotten my broth already hot, we'd be at a boil now. Thank you guys for being patient.
So Anne, we have some people watching on YouTube. Max wants you to know that he loves the way you explain each and every step and that he loves your cooking tips.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I try, and if you ever have questions, please ask. I don't always know the answer, but I'll do my best to get back to you. Okay, let's just go ahead. It's just about at a simmer. So I want to stir here with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. I'm gonna ladle out some broth with my left hand. It is almost at a simmer, so we're pretty good. So I'm gonna keep this hand in motion, okay, whisking. And then I'm gonna gradually add the hot stock, which again is going to warm up those eggs without shocking them too much by adding, by adding them directly into a big pot of hot stock, okay? So this is, again, called tempering the eggs. You can probably go a little faster than this, but I always err on the side of caution because I don't want the eggs to curdle. So, like I said, 1 ladleful is about a 1/2 cup, so I'm gonna need another ladleful to get the 1 cup of hot stock. I just want it to get a little bit hotter. It's putting me on the spot here. It's taking its own sweet time to come to a boil. Let's see. I'm gonna force it. Okay, just wait just another second with me. Okay, here we go. We're getting some bubbling action. I just want it to come to a nice, good boil. I'll turn it back down in a minute before we add the eggs, but okay. So I'm gonna get my whisk in motion. Ladle out some of that hot stock. It's okay if you get some of the carrots or onions in there, it doesn't matter. And then I'm just gonna gradually add that additional 1/2 cup of hot stock to my egg mixture. Okay, wonderful. And now that this is boiling nicely, I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna whisk it in. So the eggs have warmed up gently and slowly, and now I'm gonna slowly add them to the pot. You can switch to a spoon now at this point, but since I already have the whisk going, I'll just use that. Okay, so you see the color of the stock changes to this nice sort of sunny golden color from the eggs. Oopsie, splashing. Okay, slowly adding and stirring constantly so that I don't get ribbons or threads of cooked egg. Instead, I just want the egg to sort of make the whole thing kind of evenly creamy. Oh my goodness. I really splashed out. Sorry guys. Let me clean up my mess here a little bit. Okay, I just want to stir this around. And it's going to sort of thicken It enriches, makes everything creamy, really rich tasting. Boy, I really splashed around. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how vigorously I was whisking. Okay, now let me add some salt and pepper. So since we started with the unsalted stock, we need to add a fair amount of salt here to get our seasoning up.
Okay, Ann, your mic has dropped.
Oh.
So let's fix your mic real quick so we know what is happening.
Hold on, my mic fell off. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, thank you guys. Okay, I'm back now. Sorry to step off camera, but y'all don't want to see me fumbling with my mic and my blouse. Okay, I added some salt and pepper. I was explaining that since we started with unsalted chicken stock, we needed to add a fair amount of salt just to boost the flavor. So we're using 1 1/4 teaspoons of kosher salt and then a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Always freshly ground is preferable for the most flavor. Then I have 3 cups of shredded rotisserie chicken. I'm using a combination of white meat and dark meat. Which we got a rotisserie chicken. It was a little bit on the small side, but for a grocery store rotisserie chicken, and that was about 1 chicken. If you have a larger chicken that you've roasted, you can probably get 3 cups off of some leftovers. Okay, and then 3 cups of chopped baby spinach are gonna go in. And that combination, lemon, spinach, your aromatics, is just going to be wonderful. And then when I stir in the dill to finish, it is lovely. I'm so happy to hear that some of you guys have already made this soup and really like it. See how nice and thick it's getting? It's getting kind of, it almost looks like you've added cream, but you haven't added cream. You've added some eggs that you tempered, got up to temp very slowly and gently so they did not curdle. You have this nice sort of creamy soup. And I'm just gonna let that come to a boil. And right about when it comes to a boil, the spinach will be wilted enough to serve. At the very end, I'm gonna stir in the dill and then serve this guy up. So we have some nice pieces of the orzo. We sort of par cook it. We only cook it for about 6 minutes before adding the eggs and thickening the soup. And then it finishes cooking to just the perfect al dente texture. Now, if you have leftovers of this, as with any soup that has pasta in it, just know the pasta will sort of soften and swell a little bit. You might have to add some additional stock in order to thin the soup if the pasta soaks up too much of your broth. Okay, so let me just turn this guy off now. Add that dill. And that is a wonderful, creamy, lemony Greek chicken soup. Let me serve it up so you can see how yummy and luscious it is in the bowl. Sorry guys for my technical difficulty earlier. Thank you for sticking with me.
And we've had a couple people say, you know, with the mic thing or whatever, that's the fun of a live anyway, so I don't think they mind.
Thank you. That's true. I mean, we are definitely live with all these sort of snafus and complications that come with that. All right. So this is, it serves, I think the recipe serves 6. Yes, it makes 6 nice, generous servings. And that is a 20-minute wonderful take on chicken noodle soup. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So starting next week, we're going to have a fun series. 4 weeks in a row, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving sides. So I know from research that we've done that people start planning out for their Thanksgiving feast at least a month in advance. A lot of people, not everyone of course, but a lot of people start planning way ahead. I also know from research that we've done, look, we've asked lots of people, what they want ideas for are the side dishes. So that was the focus of our November holiday cookbook, and that's going to be the focus of the next 4 installments of Cooking Light Live. So starting next week, I'm going to show you 2 fun takes on sweet potatoes, and then for the next 3 weeks after that, leading up to Thanksgiving, I'll be sharing some great ideas for Thanksgiving sides. So please tune in. If you watched today, please like and share this video on Facebook, If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe so you'll get notifications when we go live. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week.